A small portion of this video is kindly sponsored by Sundays. Is this an ashtray? New year, new you doesn't necessarily mean new stuff. See, you don't need to go out and buy new stuff. You just repurpose stuff that you bought when you thought you were super organized.
A palette of gold, gold, gold. A palette of gold, 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 gold.
Well, hey friends, it's Natalie. So glad you stopped by to hang out with me today for a special holiday-themed episode of Messy to Minimal. You'll see behind me, I have drug out our holiday decor totes. I'm gonna go through the entire collection, do some decluttering, some organization, and hopefully cut down on the stress of setting things up because I really actually want to enjoy that time. It's a very fun family time for us, and I am all about reducing stress, especially this time of the year. So if you have anything you would like to declutter around your house, you can get on up and join me. It's always fun to be able to work with a friend. Drop this emoji in the comments. And since it's the season of giving, I am happy to host a giveaway for this video. The clue for how to enter is actually going to be in the 90-second sponsored portion. So be sure to pay attention during that section of the video, and then I'll share with you how you can enter the giveaway a bit later on. But for now, we're gonna roll up our sleeves and get this decluttering started. All right, we are equipped with coffee in hand and a few totes to go through here. Let me show you what we're looking at. Here are the 3 holiday decor totes. They're not even full. These totes are rather large, and so eventually throughout this process, I would like to downsize the size of totes, which might mean we have to increase the number of totes, but I'm not a numbers gal. I don't really care. Minimalism is not a religion for me, so if I have more totes with more space in them, I am okay with that. Whatever brings more peace into my life, right? This is the Christmas tree tote, so these are things that decorate the tree specifically. It's nice to have that separated out. This is the general Christmas decor tote, and as you can see, there's lots of room in here. We will get to the Christmas totes, but first, let's start with the season that we're currently in, the fall decor tote. This, immediately, I can tell does not belong in here. I think I pulled this off of something and then set it into the top of this tote because there was no lid on it in my office. I don't even know if I want to keep that. I have this vintage tablecloth that I found. I actually shared it a couple of videos ago. This can be actually an all year round sort of thing. It's not specifically for the fall time. So I'm gonna put it with my other table linens. Oh, this is yours. This is an old, I know, it's so tiny. This actually doesn't even belong in this tote. The springtime bundle of stems that I put into a little vase on our kitchen counter. I bought this little house hoping that I could do my diffuser project. It's a lot more springtime looking than what I was going for my fall time little cozy house project. I still want it, and I would like to do the project on this and set this out in the spring, which means it doesn't belong in the fall tote. Hi, puppy. What is all this stuff? What do we got here? For those of you who only tune into my Messy to Minimal videos, you have probably not met our sweet puppy, Opie, yet. Look at how sweet he is. And this will be Opie's first Christmas with us. Yes, it will. Which I would love to get your advice in the comments on how to deal with a dog, a puppy at that, and a Christmas tree. Will I even be able to have a tree skirt? Because he loves to pull blankets around, and I have a feeling he's gonna start yanking at the tree skirt.
We never need a tree blanket.
I didn't even think of that. You might just change up the way we do everything, huh? Oh boy. Speaking of puppies and dogs, I'd love to thank Sunday's Food for Dogs for sponsoring the next 90 seconds of this video. Take it away, sponsor Opie. I think it's safe to say that our family's favorite part of the day is Opie feeding time. He is so cute to watch get all excited and head over to his bowl to eat his Sunday's Food for Dogs. Sundays was actually recommended to us by our groomer after our vet suggested we switch him from kibble to fresh food to try to help support his skin and some digestion issues. Unfortunately, a lot of the other fresh food options we looked into were expensive, required refrigeration, and extra prep steps. Sundays, however, is air dried, and it's like the best of both worlds because not only does it pack an enormous nutritional punch like fresh food does, but it's also super easy to store and serve like dry food is. Opie has tried and enjoyed all three of the Sundays different recipes, the beef, the chicken, or the turkey recipe. They are all natural, complete meals with no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. The best part about all of this is that within a week of switching over to Sundays, Opie's skin and digestion issues all but disappeared, and now we see silky, soft fur, no itching, a tummy that's satisfied but not upset. He even has better poops and better puppy breath. And if you'd like to check out Sunday's Food for Dogs for your pooch, then head to sundaysfordogs.com/Natalie. Use code Natalie to get 50% off your first order and help support my channel in the process. Thanks so much to Sundays for sponsoring that portion of this video and for making free content possible on my channel. I'm always so grateful to be able to work with brands that I know and love and already am a customer of. I was purchasing from Sundays for Opie before I ever signed a contract with them, and I'm so grateful for the opportunities that are sent my way because of you guys being here on my channel to love and support the content that I post. So thank you so much. Okay, we have just a little bit left to dive through in this tote. Immediately, I can just grab some stuff that doesn't even belong in here. Taste of Home magazine. Oh, this is the piece of paper that came with that tablecloth, although this tablecloth is blue. That's actually a really cute one. We've got some ornamental corn. I've got my cornucopias here that I bring out each year and use as table decor for Thanksgiving. As I'm going along here and doing some decluttering, I'm thinking about what it might look like to rearrange the organization of these items, because I'm starting to see some distinct categories come out as far as the type of decor that I have. Now, I think it's time to say goodbye to this. This is one of the first projects I ever worked on in a fall decorating video. This may have even been in the first fall decorate with me video I ever made on my channel. I had fairy lights in it at one point, but right now it has collected, that's a paper clip. Those are bits and pieces of like old leaves and stuff. These pine cones themselves, I just got these from Michael's. It was a cute project, but this sort of thing isn't really my style anymore. I'm not really going for vase filler vibes. Not that there's anything wrong with it, it's just not really what I'm doing. I'm gonna set this to the side. Speaking of pine cones, these are the ones that we picked up on a trip years ago when we were at a rest stop in Montana. They were the biggest pine cones we ever saw. The kids were just amazed by them. And I've kept them in this bag ever since, and we set these out on the table for Thanksgiving decor as well. So I'll put those by the cornucopias. I am trying to cut out fragrance in my life. I do believe it is one of my migraine triggers. So we do just beeswax candles in our house. Maybe sometimes I'll have a little bit of essential oils going. Those don't seem to bother me when they're like a good quality. But I have these completely brand new pumpkin jar candles. I think I got these from Target a few years ago. I mean, even right now, I'm trying to keep my face away from them. When I opened this tote, it was like, whew, there's some fragrance in there. These are brand new with the ties on them and labels. So instead of storing them in my decor tote, I'm gonna go put these in my gifting closet tote situation that I have, which also could use a good declutter and reorganization, but not today. Oy vey. It's a completely mangled set of fairy lights with a USB. Let me go see if these even work. Nope. These are dead, so that goes in the garbage. Start a garbage bag here in that Trader Joe's bag. This little garland is so pretty. I thrifted it a few years ago, but I've never brought it back out. I don't think I've ever even decorated with this. It was only $1.50 at the thrift store, so I'm not out much if I don't use it and or get rid of it. It's kind of this beaded little wire garland. I feel like there could be a pretty place for this. Would it look pretty over that mirror? Okay, I'm hanging it right here for now as I'm going through this stuff just to see if I like it and want to keep it. That's something you can do while you're decluttering decor specifically. I also do this sometimes when I'm going through my closet and doing a declutter. I will put on something that I'm questioning and wear it for 15 or 20 minutes as I go, and that usually gives me a pretty good picture of, am I comfortable in this? Do I like how this looks? Does it look cluttery just hanging there on a mirror? I don't know. It's gonna sit there for a minute while I continue to go through the rest of this tote, which there's not very much left. Another set of lights that are broken. A candlestick, which I actually have its brother and sister in my candlestick area, so I'm gonna move this to where it actually goes. Oh, this doesn't belong in here. Look at this sweet little painted porcelain egg. This was my grandma Judy's. I think maybe my mom may have given this to me when she was going through my grandma's stuff last year. And at the time, this was the tote that I had opened, so this got stashed in here. This needs to go with spring stuff. This is an old battery pack that at one time had lights in it, and now those are not rechargeable batteries, so this just needs to get tossed. I should probably recycle those batteries, shouldn't I? This guy, we've had him forever. I've had these 3 little matching light up. They're so pretty. This isn't really my style anymore. I don't do a lot of gray. I used to set these out in our old house, and I haven't done so since we moved here, which means that these have been sitting in the bottom of this tote for 3 years, not being used. But every time I look at them, I just feel really sentimental. And this one's even chipped on the top. I can't think of a spot where I would use these. You know, maybe I could put them on the bookshelves of our bedroom, or maybe in my remodeled office someday. We've been wanting to remodel my office space ever since we moved in. It just hasn't been in the budget or in the bandwidth for a project yet. It's a big project. I've got this little glass divided, is this an ashtray? Amber plate. I got it for $1 and I have not used it since I purchased it. I think this is one that I can move on from. This is the turkey pillow that I thrifted. Actually, I found it at a vintage store last year. The top got ripped and I need to take care of that. I need to hand sew that ASAP before Mr. Opie gets into that thing. Okay, we've got just a bunch of debris and junk and apparently a highlighter pen. Oh, and apparently a yellow mum tag from Lowe's. So much random debris. So maybe I should be putting together a repair pile. The turkey and the winter scene are the first 2 things in it. And I am sure I will find more along the way. Okay, Christmas tote. Okay, Christmas tote is decluttered, except for a few pieces of glitter in the bottom. We can reuse these large totes. We've actually been needing to get some for some things in our garage. We've got some tools, some camping supplies that we needed bigger totes for. And if I am moving into smaller totes as we pare down this decor collection and also sort of parse out maybe more specific categories. I just think these big totes, in addition to the fact that they get really heavy, might be not as functional at this point, and I'm always going for functionality of a situation. And I want that to be an encouragement to you. I share all the time this sort of mantra that I have, function over fancy. This time of the year especially, as people are selling things to you on social media, you are going to feel the need to go out and buy brand new bins and baskets and totes, especially as we're moving into the new year. I know that's several weeks off, but have it on your radar. New year, new you doesn't necessarily mean new stuff. And it's okay to have mismatched bins. It's okay that they're not all perfectly labeled or color-coded or Pinterest-worthy. Pinterest-worthy a lot of the time is just marketing to get us to buy more than we need. Sometimes grabbing the tote from your daughter's closet that's been holding her stuffed animals in it because it's the right size for what you need is the better way to go than shelling out extra hard-earned dollars for something that someone told you that you need, or your brain told you that you need because it looked nice and shiny in the TikTok. I'm not against buying things that you need or even want for that matter, but sometimes we have to weigh our wants and needs against societal and, I don't know, this odd sort of peer pressure that social media has brought into our lives. I know I've fallen for it from time to time. I'm not immune to being influenced. And I realize the irony here, speaking to you in a YouTube video, but I'm not one to tell you that you need something just to make a buck. So I'm gonna go grab that tote. There's one in Haley's closet. I have one holding, I think, snow gear in my closet. And I am gonna try to kind of gather up the white totes that I have just to kind of keep them more on the uniform side, but it's not necessary. I think I might have the ability to do that though, so I'm gonna try. And I think I will resume the decluttering when I get into this Christmas tree decor tote. But for now, I think I'm ready to start putting things back into totes because I'm kind of making a mess here in my dining room. And the fact that Opie hasn't come out and tried to steal some of this stuff is a miracle, but I don't want to push my luck. So let's start doing a bit of organizing. These smaller totes are coming together and I was able to find a couple more things to further declutter out. I'm going to put these Christmas books, they had been stored in the Decor tote. They're not Decor. And we actually have a spot where we can keep these year round and they're not taking up a place where we need the storage for something else. I, in fact, have other Christmas or other seasonal themed books in our family book storage anyway, so these can be added to that. However, this precious book is more of that sort of decor or novelty piece. 1938, I mean mint condition copy of A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. I shouldn't say mint condition with that little mar there that's on the front, but the pages certainly are. It is just beautiful and it's illustrated in color. It's just gorgeous. It's like a step back in time to read this book. To Donald from Mother and Daddy, 12/25/1938. Just think that's so sweet. So this is staying in the decor tote because I actually kind of display it on our TV unit and I don't want it to get mixed in with the kids' books that are accessible at any point. I was considering making a separate wreath tote, but I think with the space that I'm seeing in both the fall tote, keeping in mind the stuff that I do have set out already because we're in fall, and then also this Christmas tote, I think the wreaths that I have will fit into them just fine. However, I think a separate tote or maybe even a smaller tote than what is here, perhaps even in like an open top basket that I can have on a shelf to easily access art. I think a separate tote or maybe even a smaller tote than what is here, perhaps even in like an open top basket that I can have on a shelf to easily access art would be a good idea. So the paintings that I switch out seasonally, I have one here in the schoolroom, the messy schoolroom. I have one in our hall, the ones in our guest bathroom that I switch out seasonally. And I think rather than having these pieces rolling around in a tote, having them sort of lined up in a basket would work. Let me figure this out. Okay, the kids are going to a costume party in a little bit, and I had costumes in this bin. So I just threw them in that old Christmas bin that I've already emptied. And I'm gonna turn this. At one point, it had paper plates in it. See, you don't need to go out and buy new stuff. You just repurpose stuff that you bought when you thought you were super organized. So this way, I can line them up like this. That can go in there. The courier and knives. And I like that there's space in here that I can move things around, add to the collection if I want to. I still have some spring and summer prints that I would like to get that would be added in here. And I think there's room to grow in this collection without busting at the seams in this capacity of container. Okay, I think it's time to do a little bit of decor repair work. Kiddos are outside playing with the puppy, and I'm gonna get my needle and thread and super glue out. I have 3 things to repair. I can probably get this done pretty quick.
Nothing would, and when you naturally guess that she's gonna say yes, ain't that a grand and glorious feeling?
Okay, we are in the it gets worse before it gets better stage of this process, but we're in really good shape here. So I did go through the Christmas tree tote, which these totes I believe are 30-gallon totes. These smaller ones I think are 18 or 20-gallon totes, so about 30% bigger there. But I was able to declutter some things out and kind of consolidate some of these little bins or crates that we have. So I'm pretty sure what we have for Christmas tree decor will fit in one of these totes. And I'm thinking I'll have 2 Christmas themed totes like I have had, Christmas tree, Christmas decor, and then I'll have 2 fall themed totes. This one is all the Thanksgiving stuff, which most of the Thanksgiving stuff that I have is actually Thanksgiving table decor. And then you just add this turkey and a couple of little figurines. And I think having a separate Thanksgiving tote really makes sense and will make it much easier for me to not only decorate with sort of a Thanksgiving theme, but also get that table put together, because it was kind of a drag to bring that huge tote down and rifle through other things in order to get what I needed for hosting. I'm always about reducing stress for hosting time. So I'm hoping this will work. I have a feeling it will. And then the other fall decor tote will just be fall decor in general, which all I have left of that, because it's all out right now, are these little floral pieces here. So that would be my wreaths, little figurines, and what have you. I actually don't even think I have enough of the general fall decor to really fill one of these totes, but I do have room to store an extra fall tote now that I've sort of parsed out the collection into smaller totes. I keep looking at this guy going, there is not a spot to put him, but my kids are obsessed with this fluffy Santa Claus. My grandma had the exact same one when I was a kid, and come to find out, Weston's grandma did too.
No, Opie, drop the ornament.
No, you can't have that. This is, nope, go on. If ball-shaped, why can't I play like it's a ball? Haley, will you take him potty, please?
Come on.
Go potty. So since we're over here getting the dog out of playing with these, I bought these, or thrifted these velvet red maroon ornaments last year. Every single one, the tie on them ripped off, and it wasn't really fixable, so I think these need to be tossed. And this, it's actually perfuming the whole room right now, so I need to get this out of here ASAP. Very, very heavily fragranced. So I think that's gonna go in there because it's still usable, and it's gonna join this little tub that I'll take a picture of and put on our family chat and see if my sisters want it for their homes. Oh my, what am I looking at here? I just noticed this. This little put pony beads, and I think this is a calico critter, something or other. This has Haley written all over it. Oh my goodness. And then I just have a few things set out here to kind of get into a specific spot. They were out of their normal home. Our little Christmas mugs, these get put into what we call our December box. I've talked about it many times before, especially in my What I Got My Kids for Christmas videos over the years. We do what's called a December box, where we put things that we take out year after year. We don't really have to buy anything new for it unless it's like consumables. I'll buy packets of popcorn and cocoa and stuff like that, and we eat it that year, that we can enjoy throughout the month of December. And these mugs, I think these were like the last stragglers in our collection, and when everything was said and done, they just ended up being put into the Decor tote and not the December box where they belong. So that has to go into that. That also lives in my crazy office. You know, I think I am gonna keep these. The more I think about my office and how in the future I will want to have that space decorated for the different seasons, certainly for fall and Christmas time, I think I'm gonna be glad that I kept these. These would not make the cut, however, if I didn't have the space to store an extra tote or I didn't have extra totes. So sometimes you have to go based off of your space and priority. All I have to do is take these items to their homes, put all of the Christmas tree decor into the new white tote, get the garbage thrown away, take pictures of the stuff that I am offering to family, and then I think we're done. So while I get started with that to-do list, I'm gonna let narrator Natalie tell you how to enter the giveaway for this video. Thanks for watching this far into the video. I appreciate it so much. Today I'm giving away 2 $100 Amazon gift cards. All of the details on how to enter, who can enter, when I'm picking winners, all of that is in the description box of this video. The description box will tell you that you have to answer a secret question. The question is, what is the recipe of Sunday's food for dogs that on the packaging has a dog that looks just like Opie? The answer to this question can be found in the sponsored section earlier on in this video. So if you missed it, you can go back and take a look. Comment what you think the answer is, and I will pick winners from the correct guesses. I'm also giving another Amazon gift card away over on my Patreon. The link is in my description box. I just found a couple more. Ow, what did I step on? Oh,
You said a little more. Ow.
that hurt. Stepped on one of the little pearly berry beads that fell off those. I have had these since our first Christmas that we were married. I had probably around 50 bucks to spend on decor that year. And sometimes the cheapest things that you find end up lasting the longest. I love putting these on the branches of my Christmas tree. More about the Christmas tree decorating when my holiday clean and decorate with me video comes out a little bit later on in November. I think it's gonna be either November 12th or November 19th. Still working those dates out a little bit. But what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by stepping on something painful, I found a couple of these little things. These were my Grandma Judy's, and they are gonna go into the Thanksgiving tote. They will actually go on the kids' table at Thanksgiving. She used to have those on the kids' table. I also have some of these little tea light candle glasses. My mom has these, and I went on eBay on a hunt, an absolute quest, and this is before you could do image searching on Google, so I had to figure out how to describe these very specific little things, and I ended up finding several of them over the past few years, and I just kind of add to the collection, and I put little battery operated tea lights into those for the kids' table for Thanksgiving. I have a feeling this tote arrangement is going to work out, especially just getting it up here and seeing it all kind of cleanly laid before me. I like how the labels, my very fancy labels turned out. I will probably replace them with Cricut labels at some point, but you know me, I like to live with a organizational arrangement for a little while before I'll commit to the more permanent labels. I have been looking and bothered by this garland this whole time. It definitely looked a bit janky on that mirror. It's pretty, but I just don't have a spot for it. What?
It's beautiful.
We have reached a new stage in the decluttering minimalism journey. Because now anytime I announce that there's something that I want to part with, this little hand always comes in and snatches what I'm going to declutter out. Is that like a boa around your neck? Be careful, it'll snag your hair.
I know it's already has.
I'm happy with our consolidation and new arrangement so far. We'll see how it goes. I'm happy with the declutter pile, garbage bag. Now I have a couple of large totes freed up, and then in a few weeks from now, the tree and the Thanksgiving decor is going up. And I always look forward to that. I'm so excited, and I'm feeling so much better about that whole process. There's nothing about it now that I'm dreading, because I will not have to rifle through anything extra. Everything's organized and ready to go. That is going to make the setup and the tear down afterward so much easier. Thank you guys so much for coming along with me today for this holiday themed messy to minimal episode. If you like decluttering content, I post that often in like vlogs that I do on my channel, or you can go through the marathon of all of the messy to minimal videos that I've made since 2020 in like vlogs that I do on my channel, or you can go through the marathon of all of the messy to minimal videos that I've made since 2020. If you're in need of some inspiration and some good, gentle motivation, consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. Thanks so much for spending a little part of your day here with me on my channel, and I'll catch you later.